All right, guys, we have this 2011 Honda CR-V here today, and we're going to be changing the automatic transmission fluid in it. Now the spec is, I believe if you're just draining and filling, it's 2.5 liters of Z1, but it is no longer called Z1, and it is now called DW1. So I have genuine Honda fluid that I'll be using on this vehicle. It's completely up to you whether you want to use some generic fluid that fits all vehicles. I don't really agree with that, but that's up to you. This is very simple to change. There is just a drain plug and a gasket on the transmission, and then we just have a dipstick that's somewhere down here. There it is right there. Got the yellow marker on it. Now, this shouldn't take very long. First thing we need to do is get the vehicle up to operating temperature or until the rad fan turns on. And then what we're going to do is lift this vehicle up in the air. We will drain the fluid until it's pretty much drained, install a new gasket and reinstall the drain plug, and then we'll begin to fill up our fluid. So let's get under the vehicle.
What engine size and year?
It's a 2010, and I don't know, it's 4-wheel drive. Oh, 2.4 liter.
2011.
Oh, 2011. Same thing. I said 2011 in the beginning, didn't I? 2010?
Yeah, I mean,
It's an LX. Doesn't matter. I guess there's two different engine models that you could have. The K24Z1 or the K24Z6. And I honestly don't know which one's which or which one this has, but it doesn't really matter too much because the fluid fill capacity is basically the same when you're just draining and filling, 2.5 liters and 2.6 liters. So obviously we're going to check it on the stick and make sure that it's cool, so it doesn't really matter. Anyhow. Okay, so you can see here's our drain plug right here. It's got a 3/8 head on it, so you can just stick a ratchet in there. What I like to do, and you don't have to do this, but I like to collect the fluid in a graduated cylinder so that I can see exactly how much fluid comes out, and that's going to give me an idea on how much I need to put in. One issue with this method is that if you have like a leaking axle seal or somewhere that the fluid's leaking out, obviously when you fill it up and put that exact amount in, it's going to be low on the dipstick because you've been leaking some out of the transmission. So this transmission is sealed. I've been servicing this vehicle for a long time now, and I know that it has never had any leaks, but at least I'll know how much comes out of this, and I can compare it to the spec and put pretty well almost the exact amount back in it, and should get us pretty close. So let's get this thing cracked and we'll start collecting the fluid. Spilled a little bit there, but that's okay. Probably only 100 milliliters or so. All right, so this gasket for your drain plug here, obviously going to recommend to replace it because every time it gets torqued down, that crushes the metal. So for the optimal seal and to prevent leaks, we should replace that. And it's one of these part numbers. I don't know which one's which. So yeah, it's either that one or that one. Yeah, sorry, can't tell you which one it is. Anyhow, we're gonna clean off this magnet that's on the end of the plug. It collects any metallic particles that float around in the transmission and you know, clutch material, stuff like that. There's stuff that floats around that we don't want getting into the valve body or anywhere else. So get this cleaned off, get our new gasket on there. We're gonna put this on and we torque it down to 500 kilogram force meters. No, just kidding. No, it is actually that measurement, but it's 5 foot-pounds. See? That's what it says, man. Why don't I move this out of the way, you ask? Well,
It's pretty heavy.
I like to make my life difficult. Start in the drain plug. There. Okay. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Over torqued it by accident. But we're good to go. So now we're just going to clean off all this residual fluid that has pooled on the bottom of the housing. And then we're going to lower it down and get ourselves a funnel so that we can fill the transmission up. All right, you can see that we have collected just under 3.5 liters. And like I say, we probably lost about 100 milliliters that spilled over the side. So I'd say we're pretty well bang on 3.5 liters. Now, like I say, the spec for just drain and fill was like 2.5. So that's why I kind of like to catch it, because you put 2.5 in and run it and then find out that you know, you're short a liter and then you start scratching your head. But
Could that possibly overfilled that one?
it is possible. We're gonna find out. Maybe I will put 2.5 liters in and we'll find out, and we'll see. All right, so got ourselves some fluid. Gonna add this to the transmission. I did make sure that there was no dirt or rust in the dipstick tube. And also I cleaned this funnel out as well, because I don't want any cross-contamination between whatever other fluid was in here last. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2.5 liters. We're gonna run it and see where we're at. Okay, so I put 2.5 liters in. I'm now going to reinstall this dipstick, and I need to run the vehicle until it is up to operating temperature. It does say though that you can't let it cycle the rad fan twice. So once it gets up to operating temp, it's going to turn the radiator fan on, but it cycles. So it says you can't let the rad fan turn on twice, otherwise it's too warm. So, and also when you shut the car off after it gets up to operating temp, you have 60 to 90 seconds to check the fluid level. So otherwise you get inaccurate readings. So it's a little bit specific. Also, this one's odd because normally you check the transmission fluid level with the vehicle running, but this one says that you need to shut the vehicle off. So I'm going to start it up and get this thing up to temp. Okay, so our fan just came on. We're up to operating temp. I'm going to pull this dipstick out, stick it back down in the hole, and I'll check and see what our fluid level is. Just want to make sure that this is fully seated. There you go. So it's just on the bottom of the dipstick there. So yeah, I would say we're pretty much down a liter. Do pay attention, there is a slot on the side of this dipstick as well, and there's a tang on the dipstick tube to where this thing needs to go. So you can put it in backwards if you're not paying attention, but I'm going to top this up with another liter, and we will start the car up again and check, see where we're at. Add ourselves 1 liter. That'll bring us up to the measured amount that we removed from the transmission, which I would expect to be perfect. Okay. I have run it again until the fan came on. And we're gonna go ahead and check this. What do you think? Yeah, I'd say that's perfect.
Hold it in one place.
Come on, focus. Cool. Yeah, I'd say we're just above the low mark. I might even just add a little splash because I don't want it to be like just perfect, but yeah, I'd say that's pretty darn close. So the conclusion on that one is, I don't know, man. Like, you'd think to trust the manual. That was Pro Demand, Mitchell Pro Demand's data, but they just get that from Honda. So why it needed an extra liter, or why we got an extra liter out of the transmission, I don't know. But it's just a good reason why you should measure what comes out and not always just go off the manual, and then obviously check your transmission fluid too, because if you just drained it out, didn't measure it, put 2.5 inside, that's what it calls for, you'd be running low, possibly damage the transmission. So I think that's pretty much it for the video. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, excuse me, give it a thumbs up. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.